The Tom London Show is brought to you by Suzuki Kyalami, the home of happy customers. How's it? Welcome to the show. The Easter holidays, for me, they start now. And that's why you joined me at my home this afternoon. I'm looking forward to your comments in the comments section. If you're watching on YouTube Live, pop a comment in the comments section. If you're watching on Facebook Live, then if you land up in the comments section, you'll be part of the Dysfunctionals, Tom's Army. And if you say hello and it's your first time watching, people will make friends with you. And it's a good place to make friends. So we've got a highway close by, and when it's busy, I can hear it. And it's busy this afternoon. And I keep wondering, are the cars I'm hearing in the background people who are going away on their Easter holidays or their long weekend? And if you are going away and driving this long weekend, I wish you safe travels. And I hope you have a blessed time with your family. I'm looking forward to the next couple of days because for the first time, I think since the beginning of the year, I've got 4 days off. So I'm very happy about that. And Tanya was asking me 2 days ago, so what are you planning to do on your weekend off, Tommy? And I said, yeah, I've got some plans. She said, yeah, you'll probably do nothing. And I said, no, I'm going to lie on my bed and have a nap when I want. I'm going to eat, cook, order some Mr. Delivery or Uber Eats. I'll go to the shops once or twice. I'll have a bath every day, twice a day maybe. I'll watch Netflix. I've got lots of plans for the long weekend. So what are your plans for the long weekend? Pop them in the comment section down below. I'd really love to hear what you're up to this long weekend. Are you doing a lot of what I'm doing? Or have you got some exciting stuff planned? Or are you going to be spending time with family? And I think of family. It's all, around Easter and Christmas, you always think of family, and my family is scattered all over the world. So it's a little bit hard bringing everyone together. But I'm thinking of my late mom today because tomorrow would have been her birthday. She would have been 77 years old if she was alive, and we would have been celebrating tomorrow. It's times like this that you think back on the people you love, still love, and have lost. And so, yeah, tomorrow on Good Friday, I'll be celebrating Good Friday, but I'll also be celebrating the birthday of my late mom. Okay, let's see who's on board and what you've got to say. I've rigged everything up so that I can actually see the comments, and the audio should be good, so you should be able to hear me. Annette Jacob says, hi. Hi, Annette. Hope you're well and wishing you a blessed Easter with your family. Rosie Brown is on board. Anita Maynard, who won the power bank, and I still have to message. I'll message you after the show, I promise you. Says, hello, my dysfunctional friends. Annette says, yeah, I think they're traveling on holiday. That's one thing I don't do, hey? And I haven't done this for years, and that's what makes dating a single mom difficult, because if you've got kids, the only time you can really go on holiday is when they're on holiday. So they dictate when you go away and when you go on leave. And so I think of the stressed parents who have just left work, have packed the SUV or whatever they're driving full of stuff in the boot. Maybe they've got a Fenta trailer, pack their kids in, and now you've got to do a 6-hour or an 8-hour trip, and what's normally a 5-hour trip. I remember going down to Mpumalanga, to Marloth Park, one Easter weekend, and there was an accident just before Malulana, and I think it took me about 10 or 11 hours to get to Marloth. And I said, that's it. I'm never, ever, ever driving somewhere at the start of a long weekend and coming back at the end of a long weekend, ever again. And then I dated a single mother, and I did it. I was like, no, this is not going to work. So yeah, if you're in that situation, I wish you safe travels and stress-free travels. Jenny Hewitt says, hi Tom, how's it, Jenny? Una Guida says, hello everyone. Hello Una. Anita says she's working on her house this weekend. That's nice, that's always fun. Oren says, Big Tom, it's been years, how are you? Wow, I met Oren, I'm trying to think when I met Oren, it's probably 2016, 2017, 10 years ago. He just come to the country. and he's done so well. I watch his pictures and read his posts on Facebook and see all the good work he's doing around the world now. And just so proud to know you, Oren, and well done on all you've achieved. I know I haven't written to you in a long time, or perhaps I haven't commented at all, but I do see your posts, and every time I see you on another job looking so happy, it just fills my heart with joy. So keep on doing it. You're doing very, very well. Eunice says, stuck in the concrete jungle at home. I've said this before, I love being in Johannesburg over the holidays when half the place clears out and you've got the metropolis to yourself. Alistair Jameson says, what long weekend? Yeah, I sometimes feel like that when I'm working because I do a lot of work over the weekend. So people go, oh, yay, it's Saturday. And I'm like, well, I'm working today. So Monday is like my Sunday. Heather Knickelbein says, hello to all dysfunctionals. The heat in King is wicked today. My lazy boy arrives on Sunday. Oh, you lucky. You're very, very lucky. Lazy boys are awesome. The problem with the lazy boy is once you get in it and then you pull that thing and you go back and you lie back like that, you don't tend to want to get out of it easily. Oren says, do you remember Jeffrey today, 7 years? Yes, I do. And I remember that time. I absolutely do. Thinking of you, Tom, says Anita. You know, a couple of days ago, when I'm not working, I spend a lot of time alone. And I keep myself entertained. I play music and watch TV and play with the birds, and I cook and eat, and I got enough to keep me occupied. And I was just thinking about my life, and not my whole life. I was thinking about the day that I sat here and couldn't breathe, and how low my life sank. And I didn't realize it at the time because I was so preoccupied with staying alive, just surviving. I was 100% focused on that. I remember when I had to leave Morningside Mediclinic, and they told me I could come back when I had the money for the operation. And I was speaking to one of my doctors, and they put me on a very strong course of antibiotics, oral antibiotics. I'd been getting them intravenously while I was in hospital. And they put me on the strong course of antibiotics. And I said, how long can you keep me alive for with these antibiotics when I go home? And the doctor said, we don't know. And so I came home, and there was no clear answer how long I was going to last and whether I'd get the money for the op, or I didn't know what was going to happen. But I was very, very preoccupied with just putting one foot in front of the other and staying alive. I remember I went and met a friend of mine, an ear, nose, and throat surgeon called Dr. Ivan Jardine. We had a cup of coffee. I don't even know how I managed it. We had a cup of coffee at Randridge Mall. And I pushed myself to walk through that mall and get up and stay upright and not succumb to this thing that I had. But what I didn't realize at the time was I was taking a big knock on all levels, come to think of it and looking back, and maybe you can identify with this. Maybe you've had a moment in your life where you were being taken to the basement, and I didn't know the lift was going to the basement. To me, it was just going down, and I had to try and stop it. But now that I look back, I think, gee whiz, I lost all my income. Well, almost all my income. Thank God for Suzuki Kailami and Suzuki Ravonia, who kept me on while I was sick. And so that was my only customer, my only client. Everything else was gone. Any surviving money I had was gone. My health was, whether I was going to survive was questionable. What was going to happen afterwards, how long it would take to recover, all these things. I didn't know. I was just preoccupied with staying alive. And then I had the op and came home. And then, I think since I I started turning, and if you're not a religious person, then this won't make any sense to you, and I don't blame you. But this is my story, and since I turned my problems over to God some years ago, my attitude shifted, and a year and a half now that I landed up in that health scare, my attitude really shifted because I realized what was the most important thing in life, and it was just being alive. But every day since then, I've been blessed. I was blessed with enough money from customers, from the work I got to survive. I was blessed that I was able to spend a year at home and only work a day or two a week, spend the rest of the time recovering, and still manage to keep my head above water. This year I said, right, I'm going to build my business, and I gave myself some yardsticks and some goals. I've just been so blessed that I've managed to achieve them by Easter. The ones that I'd set down, I said, I want to get this right by April. We got it right by March. And yeah, I haven't bought a Ferrari yet, but I certainly can't complain about my life and the blessings I've received. So as we go into this Easter period, I'm just very grateful to be alive. I'm very grateful to have you as a friend on Facebook and as a viewer and a participant in some of the things we try and do. Remember that our project at the moment, and I'm going to have to push this project a little bit, is I'm trying to help the Juno Aurora Children's Home in Kelvin. There are about 15 to 18 kids there, ages 2 to 16 or so, thereabouts, from all different backgrounds, lots of different stories that they have had in their lives, bad stories. And they're just such a great bunch of kids, and the people who look after them are good people, and they don't have Ferraris in the driveway. And I'd really like to help them. So we got a list of things that we thought we could do for the children's home. And one was get some Wi-Fi in. Well, one of our Tom's Army has already pledged to pay for the Wi-Fi to be installed, fiber, and we'll pay for it every month. So they're going to have proper Wi-Fi. The other box we wanted to tick was a garden service. And I will, from my pocket, I'll pay for a garden service to come in and clean the yard. I think the other thing we needed was cupboards, and I know that Gavin at Suzuki Ravonia is busy working on that. And then the big one is the blinds, these roller blinds, and I know that they're expensive. I've been too scared to ask for a quote because I'm worried the quote's going to be between 20 and 50,000 rand, and then I'm like, how do we find that money, and stress. But I'm also starting to think maybe there are alternatives. Maybe we could do a lot of the stuff ourselves and still get a similar result. So I'll be looking into that in the new week, and I'll be keeping you updated. In the meantime, if you've got a spare rand or two in your bank account, just pop it into the Weekly Wish with Tom London BackaBuddy account. You can just go onto Google, search for Weekly Wish with Tom London. You'll see the BackaBuddy page come up, and you can just make a donation if you're able to. And if not, just tell people that, maybe you know someone that could help us. Annette says, I'm not going away, but church services on Saturday, Easter egg hunting with my grandson. Now, I've got a confession to make. I went to the spa this morning, and I thought I would be going into the studio today, and then I made a decision to stay at home. But I was planning to go to the studio, and I bought a box of those Easter eggs, the box of 32 Easter eggs. My plan was to hand them out to the call center agents when I got to work. And now I'm not going to see them until next week, and this box of 32 Easter eggs is sitting on a shelf in my kitchen, and I got a feeling I'm going to be eating 32 Easter eggs this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to keep that box closed. I honestly don't. Claire Gray says, how's it? How's it, Claire? Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Emily Hudson, where are you joining us from, by the way? Emily Hudson says, hello, dysfunctional family. Wishing everyone a blessed Easter. Margaret Guida says, hi, everyone. The weekend will be very quiet except for the usual chores to be done. Moira LaRue says, happy Easter. I'm going to sloth this weekend. Me too. My brother is watching from Abu Dhabi. How's it, Greg? Greg, and actually I haven't spoken to Greg in a few days, so I'll have to give him a call later on this afternoon to see what's going on in Abu Dhabi. they've been having a lot of, excuse me, they've been having a lot of rain. When I say a lot of rain, I think it's rained twice in the last 2 weeks, and every time it rains, it looks like a flood. Jenny Hewitt says, hope you get some Easter eggs, Tom. Well, I think I'm going to by default. The ones I was going to give to the call center, they're mine now. Unigida says, oh, I would kill for that 8-hour trip. Really? You enjoy that? Getting in the car with all the other Joe Burgers? And then there's always some idiot that overtakes 5 cars in a row on a blind rise. That just stresses me out, man. Nikki Hart says, oh, nice. Hiya, everyone. Margaret Guida says, hi, Greg. Petrol is too expensive to go away, says Anita. Yeah, you know, a tank of petrol, I think if you've got one of those big SUVs and you've got a big tank, you're going to pay $2,000 to fill the tank now. Now, if you've got a Suzuki, you don't have that problem, you see, because you can drive far on a tank of petrol. And last night I was thinking about the show we did on Tuesday where I said, I don't want to drive, I don't want to drive. And I was lying in bed and I was like, is that true? Do you not want to drive? Because people go, why? Why don't you want to? People are always asking me, why don't you drive? So I was lying in bed and going, maybe there's something wrong with me. I honestly was. I was lying in bed and I was like, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe, do I want to drive? Don't I want to drive? And then I thought, yeah, well, you know what I do want to drive? I want to drive a Suzuki Jimny. If I had a Jimny in the driveway, then I'd probably go, oh, I want to go somewhere in that. So, and I'm not lying, because Suzuki, Rivonia and Kyalami sponsored the show, but I've driven the Jimny a few times, and it's just a car that when it sits in the driveway, you go, oh, yeah, I've got to take you down the road to the shops, or I've got to take you away somewhere. There's my caveat, the Suzuki Jimny. And there's another car in the Suzuki Ranger. Whenever people say, what's your favorite Suzuki, and I've got a list of them, but there's always one that stands out, and it's the little Suzuki Celerio, the 1-liter 3-cylinder with the AMT gearbox. I like that car too. It's just a fun little car, and I think if there was one of those in my driveway, maybe I would want to drive that. So perhaps I should get a car. Hello gang, hope you're well, says Helen. I do hope everyone's well. Margaret Guida says, everyone have a blessed Easter weekend and take care. Moira says, when you were young and traveled far, kids in the back have to thank cows for milk and sheep for jerseys, etc. Not us. My parents were very smart. You can't do this today, but back in the day, they'd put a canopy on a bakkie, put a foam mattress in the back, lots of pillows, and maybe some chips and marshmallows. And then we would get blocked off from the adults. There was a little window. Do you remember those bakkie window things? You could slide it, and then you get shouted at. Sit down. If we have an accident, you'll fly through the canopy. Nikki Hart says, wishing Tom and his army a happy Easter and have a lovely long weekend. Thank you. Wendy Erasmus says, hi there, special soul. Love your show. Now, I'm getting confused with all the Wendy's. Wendy, were you in Randridge Mall? I'm going to ask this question again. Wendy, were you in Randridge Mall on Tuesday? Oops, I'm just looking to see, did I start buffering? I did. Okay, I'm trying to sort this camera out quickly. Let's see if that works. Maybe. Let me switch that button. I'll just keep pressing buttons until I appear on the screen. There we go. I was in Randridge Mall the other day, and I'm sure I saw Wendy Erasmus in Randridge on Tuesday. So Wendy, let me know. Were you in Randridge on Tuesday? I'm sorry for all this glitching. Hey, we are not having luck with internet at all on the show lately. And this is one of the joys of doing a live show. So let's see, maybe it's the heat. I've got this device in the sun, and maybe that's what's causing the trouble. Otherwise, let's find another device. Hold on a second while I go inside and find another device. And we'll sort this problem out, chop, chop. You can't see where I am, but I'm in my lounge at the moment. Let's see if I'm not back online properly now, I'll just hook up another device. So yeah, Wendy, I want to know, were you at Randridge Mall on Tuesday? Because I walked past someone on the way to Discam, and I thought, that looks like Wendy Erasmus. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see, I'm just switching on another device to see if we can solve this problem quickly. And let's just give that a go. And give that a go. And press that button. Bear with me. Let's see if I can just solve this problem quickly. I think I can. No, I can't. All right. Gee whiz. I'm sorry. I know you're looking at my frozen face right now. The other option is to do this and turn this camera around. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can do that. Oh yeah, so you're looking at my swimming costume. I'm just trying to see if I can turn this camera around. Otherwise, we may have to call it short here today. I don't want to. I want to try and fix this. And I actually don't know how to turn this camera around. So let's disconnect these other cameras and see if we can just try and get one working. All right, let's give this another try. Just bear with me for a second. And let me see if I can get myself back on. That might work. Yeah, it does work. Okay. Kind of. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know what the problem is. Wendy and Rasmus says, thank you, guys. Same to you. Russell Landau is on board. Tom God was watching over you the whole time. That's the truth, hey? Nikki Hart says, Tom, you're blessed. Every day I remind myself how blessed I am. Sure, Tom, grace upon grace. That's true. Ronell says, glory to God, with God on your side, says Rosie Brown. Someone asked how my brother's doing. He says, we are good, staying safe in these conditions here. Oh, I think I might know how to turn this camera around. There we go. Okay, I'm going to have to hold it. Let's do that. All right, we found a very bad solution to the problem, but it will work for a few minutes. Unfortunately, the other cameras are not connecting. Don't know why. Margaret Guida says, Tom, I'm incredibly proud of you that you allowed God to walk with you. You know that. We are blessed. We are the blessed ones. Missed that show. I missed that show. Okay, says Annette. Tom, I think you have given many people hope. We're blessed to have your shows, even just... So I don't ever want to appear self-righteous. Like, I see some people, they go and do some good in the world, and the next thing they're lecturing everyone about what good and bad is, and I don't ever want to become someone like that. I don't ever want to become holier than thou, because I'm not perfect. I've done good stuff, I've done bad stuff in my life. I've been an angel and I've been a devil. And so I don't ever want to come across, and I hope I don't come across as someone who's holier than thou, because that's the last thing I am. And every day when I say, forgive me my trespasses, and it's easy to focus on as I forgive others, because there are always people doing something and you don't like it. But the big thing in that line is the first line, forgive us our trespasses, you know, and every day I say that, and I can't help but think of some of my trespasses in life and hope that I'm forgiven for them. Moira LaRue says, I turned my life to God, but then most people I loved suddenly all died, youngish in short time, and I lost my connection. These things are understandable. Mary Beckett says, go for it, Tom, enjoy the Easter eggs. Una says, you just can't stay away from the sweet stuff. Do you know that for 2 days I went out and I forgot to buy sweets, and I kept coming home and I'd go, oh no, I haven't bought sweets. And normally I would go Uber Eats and go Woolworths after dark, Woolies after dark, and then go mad. Buy a peppermint crisp pudding, buy those vanilla sticks, buy some chocolate mousse, and then eat it all. But 2 nights this week I never did. So I think I deserve an Easter egg or two. Oh, Tom, I was at your spa this morning. Sorry, I missed you. I actually spent quite a bit of time there this morning. Nicole Patterson is on board. I'm loving Nicole's posts on LinkedIn. Nicole really posts good post content on LinkedIn. No, you're going to have to bounce around after that box of eggs. Yeah, I'll go for a walk. Beverly Ann Lloyd says, hi, everybody. Happy Easter to all. Margaret says, wonderful news about the orphanage. Thanks, everybody, for your contributions. Wish I could have contributed too. Next time for sure. That's okay. You'll just help spread the word when we put the posts out. Unagaida says, that's my favorite thing ever. Escape to KZN. I think you need to live there, man. Hey? Don't you think you need to live there? I think you're made for KZN. Have a super weekend. Don't forget those marshmallow-filled eggs. I got them under control. My downfall is speckled eggs. Ooh. How do you eat them? Do you put them in your mouth and bite them immediately and crunch the outside with the inside? Or do you let the outside go a bit soft first? That's my tactic with speckled eggs. Yeah, well, no, fine. 36 eggs for Tom. 32. Heather Knickelbein says, I'm involved at the moment with a lady fighting cancer. I'm also involved with someone who has polio to help her. I feel so sorry. I'm busy in the King area helping people who need help so much. No, you don't have to worry. If you're helping, that's good. The fact that you're helping people who are in trouble is just amazing. And I understand being stretched and not being able to help anymore, so I get it. I really need to go see a dentist. I apologize. I know this looks bad. But I worked out it's like $30,000 for the visit, so I'm about 3 weeks away from going. Helen Mishbah says, laugh out loud. Margaret Guider says, Greg Holmes, oh man, I'm so pleased to hear that. Keep as safe as you can. Charmaine says, good morning, Dysfunctional. So happy. Have a long weekend. May you all enjoy the weekend. Tom, look after yourself. I'll be fine. I mean, the worst thing that could happen to me is like slip on the kitchen floor or something. I mustn't say that because it's easy to do. Yes, we have a valiant safari and we sleep in the back while the parents partied. Guten Tag. Billy Kirker. How's it, Billy? Guten Tag, mein Freund. I don't know how to pronounce that. Helen Mitfrost says, Una, come to the 915 Aqua tomorrow. Would love to meet you. Come on, Una, go do it. Moira prefers vertical. I know. Was thinking of that slot tomorrow. If things don't run amok, it will be very likely I'm there. Oh, they're busy organizing a play date in the People. Barbara Ann Glass says, hi Tom, whoopsie, I'm late. Anita Maynard says you're a good... I have a good heart. I do have a heart that's got good in it, and then I've got like failings like everyone else. Like, the one thing I've battled with in my life is my temper. And I think I've pretty much got that under control the last 10 years maybe. KZN South Coast is amazing, says Anita. Eunice says she wishes she could live in KZN. Family commitments keeping you here. Otherwise you would have been gone. You must all move, man. All go to KZN together. Yes, you suck the outside first, says Helen. That's right. You have to let them dissolve. Hate to be a downer, but it's not even chocolate anymore. Yeah, those eggs, and I'm just talking about the mallow eggs, there's something missing. And sometimes I think we had food coloring that was very dangerous in the past that gave it that taste. And that's what's missing. It's the dangerous food coloring. And the closest I've come to an Easter egg where you go, I think of those Woolworths Easter eggs. Yeah. Bridget. Hi, Bridget from Vissenhof. I don't have my coffee with me today, so I can't say that my caffeine is brought to you by Vissenhof. My caffeine's brought to you by Dr. Pemberton. Brunel Hancock says, hi all, have a blessed Easter, be safe on the road. Morris says, I'm hypoglycemic, so I haven't had sugar, even fruit, no Easter. Oh no, that's terrible. A play date, laugh out loud. Says, it's a play date. Margaret Guider says, I'm trying to get the Easter Bunny to visit you like he did with Una. You once said you're a kid at heart. Yeah, I am. I got excited when I saw the marshmallow eggs this morning. I really, really did. So yeah, Easter weekend. Go and enjoy it. Go. Let's release a bunny outside Tom's gate. Do you know I don't like rabbits? I think that's a very unpopular thing to say, probably, but I don't like rabbits. I don't see the point of rabbits. If you put rabbits in your garden, they dig holes everywhere. There's no point. I've had rabbit soup. Probably the best soup I ever had was a rabbit soup. So I do like them in soup. But I'm not a rabbit. They're animals that I just don't have a thing for, and rabbits are one of them, unfortunately. Yeah. Although, I must say, I remember years ago I was driving down North Rand Road. Is it not North Rand Road? The road that leads out of Benoni. Not Atlas, the other one. Goes off to Benoni North. I can't remember the name of it now. But I was driving down that road. I was on my way to my business partner's house, and I saw a rabbit running on the side of the road, and I assumed it was somebody's lost bunny. This was at about 10 o'clock at night. And I chased that rabbit for half an hour. Eventually I caught it, and I took it to my friend. He had 2 young daughters, and they went, "Oh, a bunny," and I gave it to them. And then they couldn't just have one bunny, they needed 2 bunnies. So they went and bought another rabbit, and they ended up having a boy and a girl. And these things used to run around the house, making rabbit poos everywhere. And the next thing, they had like 20 rabbits in the house, and my friend hated me for that. But I have saved a rabbit once, and I've also eaten a rabbit twice. So yeah, careful if you put a bunny outside my house, it might just land up stew. Put the Easter marshmallows in the microwave. I've never tried that. I will give that a try. Nicole says, my daughter puts her mallow eggs in the freezer. Helen says it's an Easter Park run on Saturday, 1:54. Hey, have I got the number right? Just hope they don't want us to hop. Yeah, 5 kilometers of hopping is not fun for anyone. Anyway, I wanted to wish you a wonderful Easter weekend. I hope that it's filled with peace, really. And I hope it's filled with things that you love doing and things that you enjoy doing. And that you just have a great couple of days and hopefully off from work. What's my Auntie Bev saying? Afternoon, Tom. Have a happy Easter. We'll be thinking of you and all the family tomorrow. So remember your mom's heavenly. Thank you, Auntie Bev. I know that every year you remember my late mom's birthday. Much love to you, Greg, Nick, Corin, and your dad. Thank you. Please tell me you don't eat rabbits, says Margaret. Well, that secret is out of the bag. Yeah, I do. I do eat rabbits. Sorry. The cute ones taste better, I believe. I'm joking. So listen, enjoy the Easter weekend. I'll be back out of the studio on Tuesday. And I think we start putting the Leon Lowe shows up next week. So you can start looking forward to some. The first 2 are recorded. They're wonderful. I mean, Leon is just an incredible person to talk to about solving South Africa's and the world's problems, if only he was president. So I'm really looking forward to presenting those shows to you. That's coming up in the next week or so. So yeah, that's what's happening next week. I hope you have a blessed weekend. I hope you stay safe if you're going away. If not, do the garden route. Front garden, back garden. Front garden, back garden. Just as nice. Twice as nice. So yeah, thank you. I mean, we're a quarter way through the year. And I just want to thank you for joining me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or whenever you press the play button. And there are people that watch from all over the world, from Texas, from Perth, all over, UK, you name it. We've got viewers everywhere. Denmark. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you being by my side, and I really appreciate you joining me as we try and use this platform to make the difference in people's lives. So the orphans are up next. Don't forget, we're going to be helping the kids at the Aurora Juno Aurora home. I've got to get that right. Have a blessed Easter weekend.